Okay, so if you've seen the previous video, well, I'm not quite sure the order I'm putting it in yet, but if you saw the video where I showed our last washing machine doing its last wash ever before it gets taken apart for the project, you'll have seen it doing its last wash. Well, this is a continuation on from it. The new one's waiting to come in, but I'm going to pretty much, I said in my other video I was going to take the washing machine out and put a new one in, but what we're going to do is we're going to take and then after that we took the weight off. Well, I'm actually going to take the counterweight off now to make it easier to get out from the kitchen and into the lobby, and then I'll take the front counterweight off to make it even lighter to take it down to the storage area where I'm going to store it, and then from there I'll progressively take it apart piece by piece for the project, just to take the machine apart, show all the components. So the project has begun. It's just literally finished its last wash there about 4 minutes ago, and I thought, well, we'll take the weight off the top now to make it even easier to get it out here. So I'll show you that, and then the other video will be showing the new washing machine, the instalment of our new washing machine. This is literally finished its cycle, its last ever wash. If you'd seen that on the video, then I hope you enjoyed it. So we've got to now, disconnect it all, the plumbing, take the top cover off, take the top weight off, which will make it easier to manoeuvre. I mentioned before we move the machine, we've got to drain it first of all, because there's always residual water left in the pump. So we could do that with this drain hose. This one has a drain hose. Whereas the ones that don't have a drain hose, you have to take the filter out, screw the filter, and the water comes out there. But this model, the new one doesn't have this unfortunately, but the old one does. So we've got to drain out residual water, and then probably take the filter out as well, just so it gets most of the water out. This is a method my dad's going to use to show you how to empty the drain filter from the plug to drain the pump up, just by removing the filter and screwing it. There is a drain hose, but there's a quicker way. So there's a black bag there that catches the residual water. And unscrewing the filter, yeah, and you can see the water, how much water is actually still in there. So I've got most of it out anyway, some of it out. But we're lucky because it's a tiled floor, so there's not a carpet. So we've got plenty of cloths in that, it's the same again. Just the black bag under the thing. If they had a tray, a sump tray would have been handy, but we don't. It seems to work. Screwing the pump filter. I think that's most of it now. So like that all over the lobby carpet. Carry it up in the black bag. Put the cloths. That's a filter removed. So this is the third pump that was put on fairly recently. It's been replaced twice already. So we never really used the drain hose, we just done it that way. It's quicker taking the filter out. We'll keep all the components, the pump and everything. Could even resell them, who knows. But that's most of the water out of the drum now anyway. To take this off, my dad will show you how that comes off. That's the drain hose. Okay, just when you're no, I'm not really getting much focus on that. So what you're doing is you're just basically twisting it off. It just twists off then, basically. That's what you're doing to get it off. So that's the drain hose off. It just twists off of the outlet there. And then just feed it through the top of the cupboard. Then screw the inlet as well. Next, just going to get the mole grips to unscrew that. So we're decommissioning the old one now. The washing machine's sitting here patiently waiting to get installed very shortly. That's the washing machine out of its home now for good. we're probably just going to unscrew those. And unplug it, of course. Pipe grits to unscrew the hose of the old one. With this bucket here to catch any water coming up. As soon as you take the hose off, just put over the bucket if there is any water, residual water. No, there's not much water. Not much water at all. So that's the drain hose coming through, just putting that out from the top of the cupboard. It's the machine more or less decommissioned. It's disconnected electrically, the water and the drain. So we're just now I'm going to take the top cover off and remove the concrete counterbalance weight. I'm taking the counterbalance weight off, but I'm not taking any of the electrical stuff out yet, because we'll test the new machine first in case we need to reinstall the old one if there's any problems with the new one. Very unlikely, but it's just good practice to do that. But I will be taking the counterbalance weight off. If I need to put it back on, then so be it. It's fairly easy. It just makes it easier to manoeuvre this machine around with the counterweight balance removed. Torex screw. I need Torex for this side and the other side to get the top cover off. So we've got the top cover off now. While it's off, I could show you the original problem why in scrapping the machine. It's because of this here. The way that's ready to pull through, if that goes right through there, the whole drum is going to drop at that side. So it took years for it to get that bad, but it's not quite as bad on this side, but it's meant to be a round hole. It's obviously through time it's wore through, and you can see just how much to the edge that it is here before it breaks right through. It's obviously weakened, so any of that vibration from the spinning and the rocking around is putting a lot of stress on there. If that drops, it could be a disaster. Yeah, I'll try and highlight it on here. This bit, I'll try and point it. It just goes out of focus, but that there, that's meant to be down. The hole is supposed to be there. Through time, this has worked its way up. It's worn through, and it's near the end of the hook. So if that goes right through, this one is going to drop. That's all one part of the casing. So I was always worried about that happening. So the age of the machine, it's basically just, it's meant to be down there. There's no meant to have it through it. It's just worked its way right up to this point, and there's only that much left. That's all weakened. You see, that's all part of this moulding, the composite moulding for the drum, the other drum. The other side is worn as well, but not as bad. But it's certainly not great either. But when I come to take this whole thing completely apart, piece by piece, you'll be able to get a closer view of it. But I'm not going to take it apart electrically or anything at the moment, just taking the weights off for ease, to make it easier to move. And we'll test the new washing machine out first before I take this to pieces. I'm going to get the socket set and remove 3 bolts that hold this counterweight. Then I'll get the weight of it as well. I'll get the scales and get this weighed to see how heavy it weighs. And then we'll do the front panel as well. The front counterweight down there. We'll take the front panel for that. I've got the socket set, extension lead. It's a case of just, I can't really do this at the same time as filming. I don't want to cause a problem, so I'm just showing you roughly what I'm doing, and then I'll put the camera down and I'll get on with it, and I'll show you next when the weight's off, the counterweight's off. So I've just removed one of them. Used the big extension lead. I've got them finger tight now, but a finger slacking, so I can just remove them manually now. So it's 3 big bolts with washers. and I'll lift off the weight. That's the weight removed, the top one. First thing I'm going to do is get this on the scales, and I'm going to weigh how heavy this weighs. So that's the weight on the scales. It comes in about 10 kilograms, which is less than I thought actually. I thought it would have been heavier than that. That's what's coming in at 10 kilograms for the top weight. Next task now is to remove the front panel to get the front counterweight off down the bottom there. Front cover off. I think what we need to do is get this front kick plate off, which clips from the bottom. Yeah. Right, so that's what we're going to do next, to expose the screws to get the cover off, panel off rather. That's the lugs that come off. It just unclips at each end, and that one in the centre, and that one at that end. That's the front kick plate off, which exposes the screws, Phillips screws, to remove the metal front panel once you get the control board panel off as well. Phillips screwdriver on there. That's the pump. These ones, it's not that, it's that one, it's that one, and that one need to be slackened. Needs to get the door interlock off because that's fixed to the front panel. These two screws. The door will have to come off as well, I think. And then, right, okay, so we'll just take that off. Yeah, the two screws next. That's the two screws out. That's the screws out at the bottom, the three. So I've removed the door lock from the panel, just pulled it through. Just think this was only on about half an hour ago in its last wash. Phillips screw there has to come out, Phillips screw has to come out. That allows the front control board panel to be removed, which ensure there'll be screws behind that in order to get the front metal panel off. The dispenser drawer has to come out as well. Press that and pull it. Oops. When you're filming and doing it at the same time, but that allows access to any screws or anything. It'll have to come off anyway. So there's a Phillips screw in there that needs to come off. Nothing in there. That one, well, all this plastic panel to come off. So these lugs there need to be pushed down. That's what's hooking on. They need to be pushed down so in order to free the front panel. No, I never had it there. I'm doing it at the same time as filming, which is not normally what I would do. It clips in. So, panel clips on to the bottom. The bottom edge of the control panel fits onto the top edge of the front panel with the clips. You can just make them out there, these lugs. It's quite awkward to get off, but we've got it off. So now we've got to get the Phillips screw down there, the one at the other side, and then the front panel should come off. Then we'll have to take the seal off as well, the door seal. And the door seal. So I look for this wire. There's that wire there, very fine. It goes around the outer edge of the seal. There's one in the inside for the inner drum. We're not needing to bother with that. Just need to get this off the front panel. We'll find where this wire, the end is, to free it to get the door seal off. On the adjuster for the seal, for the spring, go to the detach it, or release the seal. So remove the spring and get the seal off, or remove it, put it off. That's the front spring cord removed. Seal on the cord. So I'm going to pull the seal off of the front panel now. That's the front seal, the front spring for the seal rather, which you can see lips around the front panel. It pulls back. It's not really so important though because it's the door interlock. That's just the front panel. That's the spring that fits to the outer drum. we don't have to bother. We can leave the seal as it is because we're just removing the panel. As you can see, it's just about ready. Just going to get that screw to come off and the screw at the end, Phillips screw. So amazingly enough, that's the front panel off already, and the machine's only been off about 45 minutes after its last wash. It's never been to this degree since it was built. Now the front counterweight is what I need to remove, which is 3 bolts again, for the same size as the ones for the top counterbalance. So just to show you what's happening here, 3 bolts, that one, and that one, so it's the same drill extension on. So we can't really do this film at the same time, but you get the idea. I've just got to slacken these off, and once this weight comes off, I'll get it on the scales and get the weight. It'll be so much easier to manoeuvre this machine around. So that's the front counterbalance weight removed. It's the same sort of type of bolts, probably the same size as well as the top one, and the drum is now no longer got any weight on it. Now you can see just how much the hole's elongated for the support. That makes it a bit clearer to see now why it was needing to be replaced, because that near enough is going like to chew right through and it will just drop. And that's part of the moulding, so I didn't want that happening while it was being used. Yeah. Right, that's the front counterbalance weight on the scales. Comes in at 12 kilograms. 12 kilograms. So that's, get that video to fold. Right, so I've logged it, photographed it. You can see a much clearer view of what's happening here. It's the sump. As the water drains into the pump through the filter. Pump then pumps it up through that pipe and out the back and into the drain. You see a clearer view of the shock absorbers, one on that side, 2 on this side. This is the fill tube. Detergent goes in there, down through there, and the drum. So obviously that's enough for tonight. We just needed to lift this, make it lighter to manoeuvre around to its final storage place, where I'll take it apart piece by piece through due course. I'm still got to install the new washing machine, so it's a closer up view of the door interlock. I'll go into much more detail on another video. A picture of that. Outer drum, composite, inner drum. 2 bearings, spiders at the back there, inner bearing and outer bearing, supported at the back of the drum. See how the suspension works, shock absorbers.